So this is my review of the IZH Baikal 53M pistol. It is a spring piston and a brake barrel. It's very low power. It's rated at 365, but on other shows, other reviews I've seen, this shows that it shoots a little bit faster than that. The gun here is metal, but the grip here is this is all plastic, and it's kind of a dull plastic finish and feel. So it's not flashy at all, and it's a very simple design. And you can't add a lot of accessories to it. So first and foremost, this gun does not have a safety, and the trigger is very sensitive. So just keep in mind that if you're looking at this gun, no safety, and it's very sensitive. Sometimes I'm just starting to aim and it fires. So be very careful about that. That's one feature I did not like about the gun. And the front sight here, take a look at that. And the other feature that I did like was the rear sight, because it's adjustable for windage and elevation. And for the elevation, all you do is you move the scroll here, it says down or up, and it clicks, so you can keep track of how far you're adjusting it. And for windage, it has this little scroll, this knob right here. You just turn that and you can adjust it for windage. So those features, that feature I really liked. It's really cool to be able to do it that easy. You don't need to have all these little screwdrivers or anything of that nature. The one problem I did have with the sights is that they're kind of thick. You see this right here in the front sight? When you're aiming at something at about 10 meters, let's say you're aiming at a can of soda, or just an aluminum can, the whole can is within the front sight here. So you kind of have to aim within the sight, and it makes it a little hard. I wish this was a little thinner, so it's more precise. But since it's so thick, it looks like a 1/4 inch maybe. It makes it hard to aim at things at 10 meters, even a little bit more than that. So it looks like 10 meters is gonna be your max when you're aiming. Another feature that was cool about this gun is that it comes with its own cleaning rod and an extra mainspring, which I don't have to show you today, but it does come with ones. And how many other guns can say that? And another thing I liked about the gun, on the whole product, was the manual it came with, straight from the factory. They show their own quality control and how each person has to write off on it. So it's pretty cool that they took the time to do that and show you that. And here's a diagram of the gun, straight from the factory. They tell you how to disassemble it in their way. It also came with this from Inventory, but this is more general, not specific information as the other one. So this is basically just the first part of the review. I just wanted to show you the gun, tell you the first few things about it. And now we'll move on to the other portions of the review, as in the shooting test and the quick teardown and maintenance and things like that. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you is how to cock it and how to load a pellet. So you have to break it open, push it all the way, and when you cock it, it's loose. Other guns stay there, but this one is it'll freely. So don't shake it a lot, or make sure you don't just leave it out like this. And also when it's in this position, cocked, do not pull the trigger, because you could activate the spring and you could mess up your gun. So when it's like this, the breech here, it's a little bigger opening. So when you put the pellet in, wrong way. When you put the pellet in, there's a lot of play in there, so it doesn't go in. So you need to make sure you push it in until it's all the way. And then when you close it, you can't softly close it. You kind of have to snap it back like this. So another thing I want to show you, it's cocked, there's no safety, so any little thing will fire. And I talked about the 2-stage trigger, so I'm gonna do it lightly so you can see how far it travels in the first stage. So I'm just gonna try to do the first stage here, and it's pointing in a safe direction. Okay, that's the first stage. Look at how far it travels. So every time you shoot on this gun, I don't know if it's all of them, but mine, I have to break this first stage, and long way to travel, and then it shoots from there. And I'm gonna fire it now. So like I said, I don't know if it's all the guns or just mine that does that, but the trigger does travel considerable distance for the first stage, and then it fires. So and it's a hairpin trigger, so you gotta watch out for that. Now I'll do a quick firing test at about 10 yards. Okay, so for this test I'll be using RWS Diabolo Basic, a wad cutter 7 grain. I'll do 5 shots, and I'm about 10 meters roughly. Here we go. Okay, so here's the grouping. Not that great. Two I shot high, and these two on the right kind of together, and the one on the left, I think I just pulled that one. And just to give you a reference, this is the quarter right here. So not very accurate. I must say it's kind of hard. The targets are, like I said, they're thick, so it's kind of hard to even tell where it is. But this is just, it's more of me being an inexperienced shooter than it is of the gun not being that accurate. You know, its accuracy is okay. And this will conclude the shooting test. Okay, so I just want to show you really quick how to clean it with the rod that was given with the package, and also how to, if you need to check the spring, because recently my spring got jammed, and I had to take a look at it and take the back part out. So just quickly just show you how to do that. Just get any patch. These are called cotton patches anywhere. Air guns are sold. And with the cleaning rod, you just run it through, kind of like a needle and thread. Just like that. And the gun doesn't really open halfway. I try to just open it like this so I don't have to cock it, but it's really hard. So I just go ahead and cock it, and you just run it through the breech here, breech end always. So just run it through, so it comes out, and then pull it back, and then you'll see some dirt on here. And basically you just keep repeating that process until it's clean. And I've also used some of this from a Hoppy's cleaning kit. You can put some oil on a patch and then run it through, and then run through dry ones until it comes out clean. So that's just the basic way to clean the barrel. And also right here is the opening to the chamber. You can also periodically, you should also drop maybe 1 or 2 drops of any lubricating oil in there for the spring. And it said also, the manual also says like every 1500 shots on the spring. So you know, you don't need to do that very much. So since it's cocked and I need to shoot it, I'm just gonna load a pallet here, and I have my pallet trap set up here already, so I'm just gonna go ahead and shoot this really quick. So now how to, if your spring ever gets jammed, there's just 2 screws, one here, and one right here. It's very easy. All you have to do is loosen the screws. There's no springs coming out or anything like that. You just unscrew them. And like I said before, the construction is very simple. I was surprised of how simple it is. It just comes off like that. And this is just a piece of plastic. It's hollow. There's nothing to it. And this right here is the gun. That's all it is. So if you ever have your spring get caught, the spring is right here. And what you need to do is pull this pin out. So put it on the edge of something like this and get a hammer and maybe a metal rod, a metal pin, and just tap it out. And when you tap it out, be careful because the end cap here, it's gonna shoot out because the spring is under pressure. So just make sure to be careful when you're doing this, that nothing is it's not gonna crash into anything, or it's not gonna hurt your arm or your face. You're not looking right at it. So just be aware when you tap this pin out, the end cap is gonna come off. So you might also want to take off the rear sight, maybe, in case it gets damaged. And right here is another pin. All you do is I use the small Allen wrench, and I just tap this pin out, and then this part comes off, and then you have to you can unscrew this right here. This whole thing screws off. So if you want to do that, you don't have to, but just if you want to be on the safe side, tap this pin out. This will come out, and then the spring. What happened to mine? I guess it got off its guide. It wasn't straight, like on this part. I could see it was bent out of its place, and it didn't shoot. And you don't really have to mess. You don't really have to mess with any of these. I didn't really have a problem with the trigger, nothing like that. Your main thing is probably just going to be the spring. And look how, there's not much to it. It's very, very simple gun. Okay, so that's just cleaning and how to take it apart. Really, I just want to give you a quick idea, show you how to do that really quick, and that will be it for this section. So in conclusion, the IZH Baikal 53M, you're not gonna have a lot of fun with it. It's simple in this construction. It's not that fancy. It's a cool design, but it's not very fancy. No bells and whistles. The sights are a little thick, as I said before. So the range that's probably your max range. It was designed for 10 meters. I was at 10 meters outside. So yeah, you can't. It's not gonna have a lot of power. It's just a simple, within 10 meter plinker, basically target shooting. And there's no dovetail, there's no weaver mounts, nothing. It's just, this is what it is. So and it costs about $65. So I'm pretty sure for $65 you can find another pistol that's a little funner, or if you want to get into your first spring piston pistol. So if you have any questions, you can also let me know. I'd be glad to answer the best I can. And that's pretty much it. So that was my review of the IZH Baikal 53M. Thanks.